Hello and welcome to the PPC advertising simulator for Facebook ads. So I'm going to walk you through and I'm going to help you get started. And then you're going to learn how to run ads on the internet, specifically on Facebook. But this format will apply to a lot of other ads as well. Now, let's get started. So you're going to land on this little page. It's going to be getting started. And in between, of course, the video will be in between the button and the little text up here. But what you're going to do to get started is you're going to click sign in on the top right corner. So this is built on a program called Coda, and it doesn't really matter, but it is a separate tool that the simulation is built on a separate tool. So you'll need to make a Coda account first in order to be able to log in and access the tool. So we're going to click sign in the top right corner. And then you're going to put in an email here. I'm going to put in max@entrepreneur.blog. For you, the students, are going to need to use your student's email. That is super, super important because it allows the tool itself to track in the back so your professor can see the stuff that you're doing. So in order for them, either your professor or your teacher, to be able to see the stuff that you're working on and the ads that you create and your progress through the simulation, you'll need to use your student's email. So make sure to use your school assigned email. You're going to sign up and you're going to fill in your information. I have already done this. And so I got a little button in the mail, and I'll pull that over here. I got a little email. It says verify your email address. It's going to ask you to verify once you create your account. You're going to go back, and it's going to log you in. Cool. Now, the video will be here. You can click Get Started. That works fine. But up here at the top is also going to be a nice little navigation panel. So I'm going to click Get Started, and it's going to send me to the campaigns section. Now, this is broken up into 3 little sections. I'm just going to walk you through how the simulation works really quickly. And you can always visit this video again if you have any questions. And there will also be little videos and little hints spread throughout the simulation later on, probably by the time you're watching this. So what you're going to do first in order to create a campaign, or in order to get started, is you're going to create a campaign. Now, ads are broken up into 3 sections: campaigns, ad sets, and ads. A campaign is a larger process of advertising, right? It's got a bunch of different stuff going on, a bunch of different tests and experiments and different ads within a campaign. An ad set is the same way. It contains all the ads, and an ad is an individual ad that you would see on Facebook, right? Ad sets hold a bunch of different ads, and campaigns hold a bunch of different ad sets. So it goes campaign at the top level, then there's a few ad sets, then there's even more ads. That's usually the structure, kind of like a pyramid, right? Now, what you're going to do to get started is you're going to click Create Campaign. You name the campaign. That's the only thing you do for the campaign section. Let's call it Campaign Number 1. Create a campaign. Now it's going to send you to the ad set. You're going to create an ad set underneath that campaign, right? We've created the campaign. Now let's create the ad set underneath and then eventually create the ad. Now, ad set name, we'll call this ad sets number 1. You're going to want to name these things that you can remember. So if you're specifically going to be running ads on, I don't know, skateboards, then maybe you'll name something these related to skateboards. This is just for your internal memory. The ads, the name of the ad sets and the campaigns and the ads is for your internal purposes, so you know which one is testing which thing, right? And the campaign is already assigned. If we created an ad set directly, this would be unassigned. Campaign here would be unassigned. But it knows that we're in campaign number 1 because we just created campaign number 1. But if you just create an ad set, you can assign it to a campaign later, so it's you can create that pyramid structure. You can have one campaign with like 3 ad sets if you want, right? But right now we're just going to create one of each. Cool. Campaign number 1. Budget and schedule. How much are we going to be paying for these ads? How much we're going to be paying for these ads per day. How much money are we putting into the Facebook platform? This isn't real money. This is just a simulation. How much money are we giving Facebook to push our ad out into the world, right? I'm going to say $10 per day, right? That's what I'm willing to spend. That's my budget. Let's schedule a start date. Well, the ad will start running tomorrow, Wednesday the 13th, as of filming this video. And it will end on the same day the week after, the 20th, right? We'll start at 12 a.m. Awesome. Now you start to define who sees your ad, right? Let's say I want only people in the United States, ages 13 to 18, teenagers, that are boys, right? Teenage boys. What do teenage boys in the U.S. care about? hopefully something I'm advertising, right? But cool. Detailed targeting, you can pick, this is super important. This is where it gets really specific. You can target the interests and more, but you can target the interests of your viewers, right? Of your ad, of the people you're advertising to. So we can show it to specific people in locations, a certain age, of a certain gender, with different languages. For instance, I'll do English US, right? And then we need to target their specific interests. And this is where it gets most important. This is probably the most important thing. Let's say I'm targeting high schoolers, male high schoolers that are interested in aviation, right? They really, really like planes. And so maybe I can look up plane, aviation, travel, maybe adventure travel, adventure travel. I'll put adventure travel in there as well. And then aviation, right? We also wanted aviation. So now I've targeted 3 things: travel, adventure travel, and aviation. Teenage boys that really like flying places, right? That's the idea. Those are the people that we're targeting, and you want to get as specific and you want to spread it out as much as you can over a lot of interests, right? Because the more people, the more interests that you tag in there, the more Facebook has to work with, right? So be generous with how many people you target. Detailed targeting expansion, I'm going to put that on. It just lets Facebook be a little bit more experimental with the data you're showing it. Automatic placements or manual placements. I have this here as a placeholder. This may become an actual selection later, but we're going to be doing manual placements just to show you the process. Automatic placements is just something you can do on the actual Facebook platform if you're lazy. And we're going to show this on mobile, desktop, or all devices. Let's say just mobile, just on their phones, right? Now, where do you want to show it? Right? On Facebook, on the actual platform, you're going to have a lot more selections and a lot more options in this, but this is a kind of a nice simulated version. Let's say we only want to show it in the 2 feeds. We want to show it in the Facebook feed and the Instagram feed, not on stories, not on anything else. Instagram Explorer, that's too complicated. We just want to show our ad on feeds. Great. Let's create that ad set. Now, this is all the targeting information, and it's all contained within the ad set, right? Great. We've created the campaign, named it, created an ad set that has all the targeting information. Now, we're going to create the ad set. Now we're going to create an ad. We've created the campaign, created the ad set, and the bottom level that people actually see is going to be the ad. And it's going to adopt all the information from the campaign and the ad set. All that targeting information, all that stuff goes into all the ads under their under their respective ad sets, right? So again, ad set is already assigned. We have ad set number 1 here. I'm going to name this ad number 1. Or no, let's actually say travel teens, right? We'll name it that because those are the people that we're targeting, and hopefully that's the ad that we're going to be creating. Now, ad creative. This is a little weird. Typically, you just be able to click and upload like you would on any website for the image that you're using or the video that you're using, but because it's not super important here, we're not going to be viewing and touching every little ad. We're just going to be working with data for this simulation purpose. I have an image URL section here, so I'm just going to say I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to go to Google here. I'm going to Google planes or travel images, right? I'm going to go to images. The way you grab a image URL is you go to here, right? You go to wherever you can find images on the internet. You click into one. Let's say this, and I'll right click it, and then I'm going to go to copy image address right here. You can kind of see right above my little head. Pop. Copy image address. Now you're going to paste that into here. That's just kind of how it works. Don't worry about designing some insane huge ad. If you really want to design an ad, you can absolutely go to something like Canva or Photoshop. Canva is a really nice tool. I'll put this somewhere in the simulation. But it's a nice little kind of Photoshop tool to design really beautiful graphics or videos or other things that you can use as ads, right? Because a lot of the ads that you'll see on the internet are really beautiful, and you want to catch people's eye. You want people to click on your ad, right? So you want to make something really nice. Not for this purpose, but if you were actually going to run an ad for Facebook, maybe something that you're trying to sell, think about Canva. Canva is really cool. canva.com. It's free. That's why I usually recommend it. But cool, we've uploaded our image. Now that's the image that people are going to see on the ad when they see our ad scrolling through their feeds, right? Their Facebook and Instagram feeds. That's where we set it. Primary text. Let's say something like, let's get you on a plane around the world, right? Something enticing. The headline will be something very short. You want the headline to be short and sweet. Headline will be travel app. Maybe I'm selling a travel app, right? The description will be download our app and get updates on when travel deals occur, right? Something like that. That's the description. Awesome. We've decided we're selling an app on travel, right? And the website URL will be www. We'll say google.com for now, right? If we have a website or something like that, this is where the individual will go. This is where the viewer will go when they click that button on our ad, right? When they click that button on our ad, it goes to that website URL. So I'm going to put Google there just kind of as a little basic thing. But if you have a website or some other cool thing, maybe like, I don't know, like, what is it? What's a travel app? Maybe something like kayak.com, right? Who knows? Our travel app, that's where we want them to go, right? And then the call to action that we want on our ad, what do we want them to do, right? We want them, in this case, download an app, right? So it's going to be download. Awesome. Let's create that ad. Awesome. Beautiful. Now we're back in the data section where we can see everything that's happening, right? We have campaigns, we have ad sets, and we have ads. And as you can see, we've created one on each, right? Because we created that campaign, that ad set, and then that ad. You can navigate up at the top a little bit here, or you can use these buttons here. If you click campaigns, it'll go to the campaign section. Ad sets, it'll go to the ad set section. There are also, in each individual section, an opportunity. There's a button to create another ad, or another ad set, or another campaign, right? Campaign, if we want to do something completely different, we can do that. Another ad set, maybe we want to target a little bit differently. Maybe we want to try a different age group, or try a different series of interests, or try a different country, right? If we want to target differently, but we still want it to be under that first campaign, we can make another ad set. If we create another ad set here, it will go to here, right? And it'll give us the opportunity to create another ad set. Of course, we have to set it to make sure it knows it's under campaign number 1, right? So that's all good and fine. But now let's look at this, right? You are going to watch this over the next few days. In this case, if we go to our ad sets, the schedule that I set was tomorrow to a week later. So maybe in a week, on the 20th, I'll come back and I'll check, and data will have been populated here, right? Based on how well the ad did. No money is actually being spent. It'll tell you when the actual thing is active. You can turn things on and off if you want to. All of this is like it is on Facebook. It's very, very similar. And you can even delete things. If things aren't doing well, you can absolutely delete them. But the point is, you're going to watch this, right? And you want to find out which of your ads is doing the best, right? Which is getting you the most link clicks for the amount of money that you're spending. And the key metric that you're going to be tracking is this cost per click metric right here, right? Cost per click basically tells you how much it costs to get somebody on average to click on your ad, right? It's showing it to thousands of people, and you can see that by impressions. The number of impressions is the number of times it's been shown, and the reach is the number of people that it's been shown to overall, right? Number of link clicks is, of course, how many people have actually clicked on your ad, and this is the total amount spent. But the cost per click is the really important one, because the better that's doing, the lower that is, the cheaper it is to get somebody to click on your ad. And if it's cheaper than other ads that you're running, you want to delete or turn off those other ads, right? Because why would you run something if it's more expensive, right? There are some reasons, and we can get into that later, absolutely. I might add some additional content, and you should talk to your professor or teacher about this, because they're going to be very knowledgeable about why certain ads are going to be better. But typically, as a little baseline, we want to make a lot of ads, right? We want to make maybe a few ad sets with different targeting and a lot of ads. Because we want to try a whole bunch of different things. All marketing is just testing, but we want to try a ton of different things to see if we can get this cost per click down, right? The lower it is, the less we're spending, and the more clicks we're getting, and hopefully the more downloads we're getting on our app, and hopefully the more money we're making for our business, right? Cool. Awesome. So I would go back, and the next step that I would do is I would click create another ad set under that campaign number 1, right? And I would continue on and continue experimenting. Great. Awesome. Wonderful. Now, that's basically the basics. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, ask your professor, and they can help work with me to maybe add it in. But this is the simulation. Go forth and learn how to run ads.